guys, Dan Forlani here and welcome back to a new video. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing. It's not just a hit the like button. Well, what do I talk about today? I'm not gonna talk about the fact that maybe I need a haircut. The last time I got one was in 2020, last year. I believe it was March 7th, you know, lockdown and stuff. I'm not gonna talk about that. Alright, seriously, what do I talk about today? I wanna talk about picture profiles, or like we read it in the menu of our Canon cameras, Picture Styles. What are they? If you just got your Canon camera, your Canon 90D in this case, because that's what I'm using right now, and you go through the settings in the menu, at a certain point you find Picture Style. What does it mean? Well, if you don't know any better, when you open it and you see portraits, you see landscape, you think, I need to shoot portraits. So I set it to portraits, right? Oh, I need to shoot a landscape, so I'm gonna set it to landscape. It's a no-brainer, right? It's not as simple as that. Well, I'm gonna tell you, these picture styles are kind of like filters with some specific settings like sharpness and saturation, contrast, and so on. Shall we use them? Well, it's totally up to you, but be aware of the fact that when you use one of these profiles, what you get is what you're gonna use, because you won't have like much flexibility in post to color grade and to make it look like the way you want. Especially the highlights and the shadows, because once you film with one of these profiles, if the darkest parts in the shadows are like too dark, like completely black, there's no going back. You can't pull it up and think you will see the details. They're gone, lost forever. Same thing for the highlights. If something is blown out, that's the way it's gonna be, blown out. You can't recover the highlights. So they're like LUTs or Instagram filters. If you're happy with what you see with the result, yeah, you can use them. But if you want more flexibility and you have the time to color correct and color grade your footage, I suggest you use the neutral one, because it's more color grading friendly, let's say. But in my opinion, it'd be better to download for your Canon camera if you don't have a C-Log. And in the case of the 90D, we don't have C-Log, but we can download something called Technicolor Cinestyle, which is a flat profile. It's not completely like C-Log, actually not at all, but it's a little bit better. You get a flatter profile, so you can have more flexibility when it comes to color grading, you know, and retaining details in the shadows and the highlights a little bit, because it's not gonna turn your camera into a cinema camera. No, of course not. But the thing is, when you use a default picture profile, you lose dynamic range. And if you use something like a log profile, a very flat profile, at least you won't lose the dynamic range of the camera. It would not improve, of course, but at least it won't get any worse. But what do they look like? Okay, now I'm gonna switch to the EFS 24mm f2.8 and I'm gonna show you one by one. Yeah. Neutral. So this is the most flexible of the default picture styles, but still, I don't know, you judge. And by the way, leave a comment down below and hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And check the links in the description to see all my gear stuff and things, and check the link to Epidemic Sound, and you can get 1 month of awesome music and great sound effects, like for free, like 1 month for free. Just check the link. And this one is monochrome, and it's just black and white. Again, tell me what you think about it and leave a comment down below. Now I would like to show you, with the same settings, same everything, Technicolor Cinestyle, where I'm not stuck to what I get straight out of camera, but I can color grade it and make it look the way I want. I'm not saying better, because if I suck at color grading, it would look worse, or at least not any better than the default picture profiles. But my point is that you have more flexibility to color it the way you want. 1 second. And this is Technicolor Cinestyle. Like straight out of camera, it looks like this. So it's like really flat. The thing is, when I'm working in post, I can like give it some personal touch. I'm not saying I can color grade it like I do with my Canon EOS R, where I have a C-Log, but I definitely have more flexibility than when I use default picture profiles. That's for sure. And I don't lose dynamic range. The image, like the footage, is more like flat, like in the highlights and the shadows. As long as I don't overexpose it, like I should be fine. I should get a little bit more details in the shadows and the highlights. But now you're seeing like straight out of camera and it looks like not good. Let me show you how I can color grade it. Should you use default picture profiles or should you download Technicolor Cinestyle? Well, that's totally up to you, because you know, if you're a vlogger or a daily vlogger, you don't have time to color grade your footage, because when you color grade it, it's not just about the skills, you know, that it might take you 10 minutes or 2 hours. Yes, but then the file becomes heavier on the software, and when you do the rendering, it might multiply the time that it takes to do that. Sometimes it takes a real long time, but if you don't have this problem, or you have a strong computer and you don't mind waiting a little longer and learning all the skills of color grading, or at least to try, well, then you can download Technicolor Cinestyle. And you're gonna have, with the Canon 90D or any other Canon camera that doesn't have a C-Log, you can have a little bit more flexibility and you can color grade your footage. What you've seen in this video, the sample clips of default picture profiles, the picture styles, well then choose the one you like and use it. But remember that what you get when you shoot with these default picture styles is what you will have to use for your final product. Because if you try to color grade it, you can do just this much. If you try too hard, your video might end up looking like bad. Now it's 8 o'clock. I still have so many things to do. Work, and then work. Well, whatever. One final thing I have to say. I never use these default picture styles. Never. Why? Because I love color grading and I'm never happy with the results. When I make a video, I always think how to make it better, how to make it look better. So I could never be happy with a default picture style, like having a filter on top of the footage, and I don't like using that. But I made this video just to show you what they look like. So when I say I don't like them, it's because I love color grading and I don't mind wasting time doing that and the rendering time and everything, because for me it's not a waste of time. You should forgive me for all the times I say bad things about these default picture profiles, because in the end it's personal choice, personal taste, and as I said, if you like one or more of them, just go for it. You can use them, of course, because in the end, when you're happy with it, you're happy with your final product, your final video, the way it looks, then you're good. Alright, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I really hope it helped you understand through seeing them directly these default picture styles and the difference when you use something like a more flat profile like Technicolor Cinestyle. Let me know what you think about it. If you think there is a huge difference, if you think it's not a big deal, if you think there is a difference, and if you prefer what I showed you with Technicolor Cinestyle, color graded in my own way, you can't even imagine what you can do with C-Log, which I use with the Canon EOS R. And by the way, smash the like button, subscribe if you ain't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video.